I would like to welcome you all back to another episode. You are now tuned in to the Laid Back Podcast with your host, Alakir Carter, and my co-host,
Ramesses Hakeem Carter.
And in today's episode, we will be talking about AI, also known as artificial, holding y'all, let me get to my notes, artificial intelligence. I'm going to give y'all a definition. Excuse me. Artificial intelligence works by simulating human intelligence through the use of algorithms, data, and computational power. The goal is to enable machines or software to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, such as learning, reasoning, problem solving, perception, and language understanding. So yes, that's what we'll be talking about today. First, I need you to subscribe. That's the biggest thing that you have to do. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. This is a very serious...
Oh, Mike.
Yes, sir. This is a very serious topic. And there are pros and cons on both sides. But in our everyday lives, we are currently utilizing artificial intelligence to go about our daily tasks, to go about the virtual assistant tasking, just to go about everything we do. Siri, Alexa, robotic cars that drive themselves. We're going to dive into it a little bit, but yeah, that's where we are. That's where we are at. In 2024.
Yes, indeed. So to start this off, this podcast. Well, first of all, it is my pleasure to welcome y'all. I forgot to do this. Yes, indeed. Claps on claps. But so to start this off. On my podcast, I like to have a segment called Icebreaker. So I will say two things. It will be this or that, and we will have to choose one of them. So I got this concept from Drink Champs. Shouts out to Nori and EFN. So,
shouts out.
With this icebreaker to start off, the first one will be, so like I said, it's a this or that. So the first icebreaker is traditional communication or device communication. Which one are we choosing?
That's a tough question. I believe there are positives for both aspects, traditional as well as device. So I'm going to go with traditional because I'm an older gentleman. And it has always worked. And my uncle Steve once told me, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, I'm all for technology. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I believe that you have to be very cautious in the current climate that we're actually operating in. There are a lot of people who utilize all this new technology for bad deeds, evil ways, hacking into your bank accounts. And if they could get some type of artificial intelligence to assist them in siphoning your money, in causing terroristic chaos. Can you imagine if some of this information fell into the hands of terrorists and they actually knew how to use and operate artificial intelligence to benefit their plight? That's troubling and extremely concerning. So yeah, I would say traditional, and I'll stand on that.
Okay. He says traditional. For me, I also answer them as a host. So, with where was I at? Traditional communication or device communication. Like he said, he's from an older generation, but for me, since I'm a part of this newer generation, I would say, I don't know, because I came from the traditional, but then I also am a part of this new device communication era. So for me, I would probably say device communication, just because you can reach out to people across the world. That's one of the beautiful things about networking and things of that nature. So yeah, for me, now don't get it twisted. I love traditional communication. I feel like COVID messed that up personally for humans, because not being around a group of people messed up just that one-on-one conversation, or just conversation in general. But for me, for that icebreaker, I'm gonna say device communication. That would be me. So for this next one, we have real music artists or AI soundtracks that sound like real artists.
Again, I have to stand on principle, 10 toes down, as a man, as a brother. I come from rhythm and soul. I come from the traditional music. Artificial music, I'm sure there's some place in the music industry for AI. Nah, let me get a regular artist, or let me get somebody who's perfected their craft with respect to artistry, and I'll deal with that all day. I'll go to a concert, I'll listen to them on all social media platforms, Spotify, YouTube, wherever we need to go to hear a real artist perform. Whether that's in the studio, whether that's impromptu, whether that is a live recorded or a live concert. Yeah, I'm all for the live artist over any AI recorded music.
I definitely agree with that. And shouts out to my favorite artist right now. He's on tour, Chris Brown, the 11/11 tour. But also, I have to agree. Real artists, it's just with real artists. Well, one, they're human first, so they have a creative process that they have to go through in order to make good music. So, what you call it? Yeah, real artists. No doubt. These AI artists is just, it's a machine that you're taking a real artist's voice and then putting it in a machine to generate music. Like, that's not the wave. So real music artists.
And if I may add to your comments, if you will, no, I would just simply say there's a process that you have to go into. You have to delve deep when you're using your musical IQ. When you're writing music, when you're writing lyrics, when you're writing bars, that's something that's I mean, to me anyway, being an old school cat, I'm impressed by that. I'm impressed by a person's genius, their musical IQ. There's something to be said for a person who can not only document the lyrics, but who can also perform, entertain the crowd. When I came up under the era of MC, which means simply, an MC was a person or potentially a DJ too, but an MC is a person who can move the crowd. Eric B. and Rakim said, "I made it easy to dance to this, but can you detect what's coming from the flex?" So these people are lyricists equally as well. So it's just a lot to go into, but artificial intelligence is a place for it in the music industry. However, in terms of the music, now let that come from a real human. Let that come from a natural source. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. This next one for the icebreaker segment will be non-technology era or technology era. Now let me go. Now, while you think about that, let me go first. So, now
Do you think? What do you think, content creator?
Now, non-technology or technology era. This is tough, y'all, because non-technology era, we didn't have to worry about trackers or this or that or just devices being made to potentially hurt humans. But also with the new technology, wait, hold on, what was I just saying? So non-technology, you didn't have to use all those devices. Well, those devices didn't
They weren't invented.
yeah, they weren't invented. Thank you. And then with this new technology, we have to worry about all types of stuff going on. People tracking us, people trying to hack us, all that being said. But if I had to say non-technology era or technology era, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna say technology era, because with technology, we're able to make money just off of doing social media or being a content creator. So that's the thing I love about that. So yeah, I'm gonna say new technology era.
I'm sort of torn between both worlds because I see there's a footing, there's a place for technology era, definitively. And I'm part of the non-technological era as well. So I just appreciate both. If I had to give you a true and honest answer to your question, I would say, yeah, I would take a little bit from both and see if I can seamlessly merge the two to create a dope dope sort of album, dope content that viewers alike will enjoy. That's all y'all out there in the world.
Yes, indeed. Don't forget to subscribe. So, with the next one that we have on the list for the icebreaker segment, it will be, now this is a good one for you.
Wait a minute.
Flip phones or iPhones? Yeah.
For me, that's going to be very simple because I feel like flip phones had their place. They had their time.
Yeah.
However, I'm going to go with technology on this one. And I'll take a Android or iOS device because... I mean, these things, these phones, these tablets, these computers are just so amazing. You can do so much with them. As my son is doing with technology right now, with his setup, with his camera, with his, with his Rutgers education, with his high school education, and with respect to video production, videography, filmography. With this sort of technology, I mean, he can take a picture of something and enhance the picture after it's already taken.
So like I was saying, y'all, these music artists, you take it with AI being in the music industry, when it comes to artists performing in the studio and things of that nature, I feel AI is taking the artistry away from those artists to make, feel good music, the music they want to make and they want to do for their audience or their fans. So yes, that's what I was saying about the music, the AI being mixed in with the music.
Understood. And I also support what Akia said. I just believe that there just is a place in the music industry, for AI to work. Not for playing songs per se, or not for taking an artist's music, simply for the ease of use. I can give a voice command. Artificial intelligence will take care of the rest.
Yes, indeed. The next topic or the next conversation segment that we can have, I would say, they talked about, different people are talking about AI or them programming machines, and people don't know if these robots will flip that switch and then be reactive to not knowing what they're doing or anything of that nature. So,
and I think that's the biggest dilemma of those individuals who are anti-artificial intelligence. Their concerns are on a much graver level, on a level that's much more detrimental to us as a people. They're afraid that AI will become, will take over the world. They will become so smart they can plug into another computer to learn about anything, as we see in some of these movies, and they can read encyclopedias, read dictionaries in a couple of minutes, and they have all the information, all the knowledge. Now, can they turn on us? That is the debate. That's the problem. Can we put a chip inside of any AI sort of device, AI robot, AI cleaning machine, so that it doesn't become so super intelligent that now they look at us as the threat and they want to take over civilization? That is where I believe the argument or the debate comes in when you're talking about pro artificial intelligence as opposed to anti artificial intelligence.
Yes, and I was actually thinking about this last night, y'all. A comparison that I would use for AI or to compare robots and stuff like that. I would say, let's say you get a pit bull puppy, right? And you raise it, you feed it, as it grows, so it becomes like you love it. Well, it loves you. It loves the owner, because if you treat it right and everything like that, and then it might one day turn on you because it might feel like you're not doing your job, or it might be hungry. So I say that to say robots could be the same thing. You programming it to how you want it, to how it maneuvers, and then it might flip on you. So with that being said, you just it's questionable to a lot of people. Like they question that robot, or they So,
I would say to your point that we have to ensure we have a certain obligation and responsibility as people who create these machines, as people who program these machines. We have to have a built-in fail-safe system. If the robot starts tweaking, if the robot is a combat robot and starts shooting soldiers on its own side, yes, we should be able to hit a button. As soon as we see the robot turn and present or take a posture that is offensive, or take a defensive posture against its own assets, or against the people, our allies, at that point, press the button. Boop. Kills the robot instantly, kills all power to the robot, or makes the robot just power down immediately and has to go back in for some sort of recalibration or whatever. But you have to have a built-in fail-safe, so that even if the robot was to plug into another computer to see how to disarm its own built-in fail-safe system, it won't be able to do it. And so it would have to obviously be on a separate network or a separate grid, so that even if it plugs into something, it won't be able to affect its own motherboard or its own system that allows it to do what it does.
yes, indeed. And to his point being, I feel these programmers or these people that are in the labs creating these robots, I feel that they should put on a self-destruct button if the robot does feel like they about to break down, or even have like a mental breakdown. So if they feel like they about to attack a human, then they should just self-destruct and know, all right, my time is up.
That's a catch-22 situation, because we want to program robots to kill humans who potentially may be our enemies.
That's true.
So what we need to do is essentially go to the drawing board and ensure that our systems, our robotic systems, are programmed in such a way. They have robotic dogs right now that you can purchase. They have robotic humans that you can purchase, and all are programmed and built for different purposes. Now, they're also making, obviously, artificial intelligent robots for combat. It's all over YouTube. It's all over social media on different platforms. I like to go back, if you will, just to go back and reflect with this. There was a show that came out, and it basically, it more or less gave us sort of a blueprint to how we can protect ourselves. I'll expand on that more as we go further into this to a later segment, but just keep that in your mind, and I will discuss some things that I think are plausible. I will discuss some things that are factual and that can help us and protect us, if you will, in the event that one of these cyber organisms like Terminator, I'll be back, comes in and tweaks or loses it or has a mental robotic breakdown. So to that point, but I'll get back into that a little bit later in the segment.
Yes, indeed. And just to piggyback off of that, there's been many movies that talks about AI or have a message behind AI. You see, I don't know if y'all have seen the Transformers movie with Mark Wahlberg. I believe it was the first one that he was in. He was in his garage. He was making robots. It was one that brought him a beer. They would go to the machine, get him a beer, and bring it back. He made a dog, I believe, but in that movie, you seen the robots had some kinks to it that caused them to become disrespectful, like throwing cans at something in the room or just knocking something over. But I say that to say, or to end this conversation off with this segment, I say, if you're making a robot, make sure you triple check that it has all of his qualifications. Everything is good in his in the chip that they put in them to program them. And yeah.
I would just piggyback off that briefly by saying this. They have a checklist with in all things in life. And with respect to AI and building robots, there's a checklist that you have to follow. And then it has to go through a proving stage, and it has to go through different phases of allowing the robot to actually become ready for mainstream or ready for civilian consumption, if you will. And so all of the kinks have to be ironed out. You know, you have to ensure that the safety of human life is paramount, period. So that being said, ensure that you're going through all your quality control checklists, ensuring that you're checking all the boxes, check them once, check them twice, check them thrice, and ensure that the human population will be able to survive any sort of robotic chaos, anarchy as a result of computer failures or programming errors, whatever the case may be, because these things are programmed by humans. And humans are infallible. So, I mean, humans are fallible. So, the reality is you're trying to create something that doesn't have emotional feeling. So, if it were to snap and kill you, the reality is you'd be dead.
Indeed.
So let's do our due diligence and ensure that we provide a safe platform with respect to artificial intelligence for all mankind.
And to end off with this segment of the conversation, I want you to like and subscribe before we get into the next segment. Okay, so like I was saying, y'all, with this whole AI thing, something that I've seen on the internet or just in movies, it's the movie. So I seen this movie called Furious 7, right? And I'm mixing AI with this movie because I seen this thing on Furious 7 called God's Eye. Now, you know, in Hollywood, they like to dramatize their stuff, make it dramatic. They want you to really be invested into the movie. But with Furious 7, they had this thing called God's Eye. Now, this thing, it was a tracker. It tracked people wherever they went. It could be someone in Europe. It could track them over there off of a ATM or anything like that. So when I thought of that, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, is this real? That's what I said to myself, because it was a movie, but I'm like, hold on, this really is a real life thing, you know, especially in military, or, you know, they have so many devices where they could track you whenever and wherever and whenever. So I relate that to AI because, you know, that's something serious. They programming these robots to do things that some humans probably can't do. So yeah.
My take on that is that to me, and I saw the same movie that a kid is referring to. That's scary. When you think about that and you look at it from the perspective of just wanting to be a person going about your everyday life. Listen, they have super artificial intelligence in that of God's Eye. And yes, it was a Hollywood scripted sort of deal, but I know for a fact that all of these governments are always fighting in the war of artificial intelligence, in the war of technology. Everybody wants to have the upper hand. Let me explain something to you. If you haven't seen Fast 7, go see it. You take a look at it for yourself. Because these things not only are super intelligent, they're also armed. And that potentially could lead to a lot of destruction. And I would even refer to that as self-destruction because we created it ourselves. So in closing, I'll simply say, excellent point. And you know, this is something, artificial intelligence is something that we need to, you know, take hard looks at, but at the same time also enjoy the benefits of what we've created.
Yes, indeed. And while we're on Furious 7, they had this thing, I forgot the name of it, but it was a drone, a killing drone that was tracking Ramsey and Michelle Rodriguez, Letty. It was a missile that was tracking Letty and Ramsey. I forgot the name of it, but even with that, it's a programmable device. It was a drone, but it had a bomb that can go and track your location. Like, let's say you was making a turn to the right, like a right turn, it could legit track you to the right and still blow you up. So that's just like mind blowing to me. But
As a person who served 10 years as a combat soldier in the United States Army, they've created these bombs. They're called smart bombs, and they're created with the purpose of getting to the predestined target. Now it's being guided by something with artificial intelligence built inside of it. So, we're living in different times, different times. So, there's a lot more research. There's a lot more debate. There's a lot more things. And because even with artificial intelligence, laws have to be passed by our lawmakers in Washington to ensure the safety, if you will, of its citizens. And that's just a simple fact.
yes, indeed, man. So with that being said, we want to hear y'all. We want to hear what y'all think too about this whole AI thing. Let us know in the comments down below how y'all feel about AI. If you are pro AI or anti AI. And the episode that we talked about a couple of minutes ago, it's a thing on Jubilee. It is called the channel is called Jubilee. And the thing that they have is called Middle Ground. Well, one of the things that they have is called Middle Ground. They bring people on and they talk about, real life topics, or they bring people with titles together and see how they feel about one another. So, yeah, but with that being said, let us know in the comments down below how you feel about AI. I will respond back to you. If you want to talk about it, let's talk. If you are out of the state or if you are somewhere else other than New Jersey, Discord is always an option. We could talk about it. So yeah, with that being said, I want y'all to like, comment, share, subscribe. I always say it's the big 4. So with that being said, yeah,
I just want to say thank you for having me on your podcast. It's been a true honor, a pleasure, and equally, as the host said, there's a lot more discussion that could take place. But yes, tell us your personal feelings. Are you pro? Are you con? You have mixed feelings. Either way, like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell. Thank you.
Yes, most definitely. And also, let us know if there's things that we can do better. Meaning, if it's our speech, if y'all want to talk about something that's a little bit more entertaining, or just let us know, just give us some critiques on the podcast. We always open to hearing new ideas or just hearing some critiques, because your critique, I might not agree with it, but I might think about it. So yeah,
and any and all suggestions should always be welcome in any open forum, any open debate, in any form of dialogue, because that's how we learn to grow. That's how we each one teach one. You may have some pertinent knowledge, some information. You may be a scientist. You may work on robots yourself. Because me personally, I like Robot Wars. It's a show that comes on TV, and they just beat each other to death or burn each other to death. So there's some entertainment value equally out of that as well.
And the worst part about that show is them teams got to rebuild a robot and fix it back up. That's the crazy part.
A real intelligent team would have a backup robot on standby.
Hey, what is it called? Robot Wars. So any teams out there, you heard it first. Have a backup if y'all don't have one already. Stay blessed. I'm out. Laid Back Podcast.
Laid Back Podcast. Peace. God bless. Be safe. Love your neighbor.
Indeed.